How do you guys? Just doing some work for tonight's show. So just thought I'd do a little hangout and show you the amount of work that we have to do as we get ready to put forth our ideas and beliefs on tonight's show. So here we are, I'm working on the turbines. I'm trying to figure out the angular size reduction versus the curve calculators. So this is what I'll be working on today. I'll also be going over Alkay's video as well at some point. So this was basically from the 3rd of June when I went down to Blackpool and was filming the wind turbines. I've taken the right-hand section of turbines to look at, which is Barrow. Where are we? It's Ormonde over the back and it's Barrow in the foreground. So these are the turbines that I'll be working on today. And essentially I'm going to try and work out the reduction down to the apparent horizon line. So what I'm working on here is this. So let me just deselect that. I'm just going to put a line in, make it in red so you can see what we're doing. So I'm going to put the lines in like such. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be tilting it ever so slightly so it goes through the turbine hubs like so. So it goes through the turbine hubs. Just get it absolutely accurate, so it needs a bit more. Then pull that line down, and at some point I should be able to figure out at what distance these will technically disappear due to perspective by following this line and extending it. So I've taken some images here. This is those two turbine farms which are here. So I'm just going to crop that out because I've actually overlaid them and put them in the right place. Crop to selection, right. So this is that entire wind farm. So we've got the big ones in the foreground, which are Barrow. Ones in the background are Ormonde. We know the heights of these turbines. So let me start with the far right-hand side, which will be this section here of Barrow. These turbines here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. And then you should also see this service platform as well at some point in the image. So where are we? So yeah, so there's a service platform here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's get a line and pop that through. No, that's not right. Doing it in red. So I'm sorry if I'm not paying much attention to the chat at the minute. I'll try and look in a moment and see what's going on, if anybody's there actually watching this. So I'm going to tilt them, pop it through the center of the turbines. That's not quite right. And again, this isn't going to be perfectly accurate, and I'll tell you for why. And that's because this is a composite image where we have 1, 2, 3, 4. This is just to help me in the future when I'm working this out. So I've got a rough idea of if these were in a line, they would terminate essentially at this point here. So this is the first part, so I'm going to deselect that. So what I need to do now is I need to work out the distance between these turbines and this turbine here. So go to Google Earth. We'll put a measure in for that. I mean, literally, what I'm doing now is what myself, Nathan, and Anthony Riley will do every day as we get ready to prepare for the shows. So I just thought I'd show you how we go about doing it. 1.81 miles. Now I'm going to presume that I'm 0.1 of a mile out and say that's 1.8. That would make more sense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that would put them at 0.3333 recurring miles apart. That would make sense. So 1.8 I'm going to work on that assumption that it's 1.8. Right, so let me put some writings on here so we know what's what. Text. So 1.8 miles. 1.8 miles. So we know that 1.8 miles is here. And what we're going to do now is put these lines in. From there to there. Essentially, that's 1.8 miles. Right, so now what we need to do, we need to get a ruler and we need to extend it and we need to find out where it terminates. So looking over here at the apparent horizon, I would say that it terminates at this point here. So I'm going to change that to white so we can see it a bit better, make it a bit bigger. Do it to there. Right, so that's the terminator where it meets the horizon. Right, so ruler, need a ruler now. Let's find a ruler. Let's take, which one to use, this one doesn't look too bad. Right, copy image. And then paste it into here. Oh, paste it into a new layer, actually. Edit. Paste into a new layer. There we go. Right. So now we need to figure out if that's 1.8 miles. Actually, I better extend it from the terminator line there. Cross. Keep going, keep going. Needs to be budged over a bit now. It's almost perfect. There we go. That looks pretty perfect to me. So what we're looking at here is 1, 2, 3, 3.5 of the 15. So from there to there, it's 3.5. So we've got a 15 centimeter ruler. And we have 3.5 centimeters, equivalent to 1.8 miles. Now we need to factor in, we need to work out what that is as a percentage, multiply it and add it to the, and then figure out the curve calcs on this. So again, right. Calculator. So we are looking at 15 divided by 3 point, no. Is that right? Divided by 100 times by 3 point. Figure this out. Can't think how to do this. 3.5 equals, so it's 4.28. So 4.28. So cancel that off. 4.28 times by 1.8 equals 7.7 miles minus 1.8. So 5.904. It's not that one. It will be, there we go. So 5.904. So I'm going to put that there. 5.904 miles to this point. And now we know how far further down the line that terminates. So now we need to figure out that far turbine, how far was it from my observation point? So ruler again, the last turbine, which is there, to my observation point, which was here. And let's get it accurate. So it's 16.33 miles. 16.33. So I'm sorry if this is boring anybody, by the way. I've not seen the chat, but it's just a way to show you what the work we do when we're not actually online. 16.33 miles observation. So that will be 16.33 miles to this point here. So I better put a little marker in there. So to that point, to that turbine there, 16.33 miles. And then we have a further 5.409. So calculator again. Plus 16.33. So 22.234 miles. So by the angular change in size at 22.234 miles would mean that that is where it would disappear according to this photograph. So right, better put that in here. 22 point, on it now. 22.234. So my calculations say that turbine 1 going through an angular change, those turbines should terminate at the horizon at 22.234 miles. Right, now let's see how that works with the curve calcs. So now we're working on Barrow Wind Farm. So I need to find out the height of those turbines. So wind turbines in the Irish Sea. Listed the wind turbines. We've got Barrow, which are these ones. It should give us a hub height, 246 feet. There we go. So we know the hub height is 246 feet. Right, let's figure this out now. So hub height, 246 feet. Out of the way. So we've got hub height 246 feet. To the next hub height, 1.8 miles down the road. Right, let's do the curve calcs on that then. Let's see how we figure out on that. Curvature calculator. So from an elevation of 7 feet, I would hazard a guess that would be 7 feet. I'll just check on the video. The video, hopefully I'll pan out and see where I was yet. Actually, it might have been a bit less than that because I was on the tripod when I took them. But then I stood up to take those images. So yeah, that was off the tripod when I videoed it. And when I took the images, I was stood up taking it. So yeah, I'm going to say it's probably 2 feet beneath my feet. And then I'm holding the camera at 5 feet. So that would be, yeah, 7 feet. Looks pretty accurate to me. If it had been taken from the tripod, it would have been less than that. So 7 feet in elevation. Distance in miles now. What did we work it out to? 22 point something or other, 22.234, I think it was. 22.234, right. So we're now looking at 22.234. Oh, wow. Holy shit. Holy shit. This is just blown my mind. I didn't expect it to be quite as accurate as this. Genuinely. The hidden 240 feet. That's no word of a lie. I've literally just done it now. 240 feet hidden. The height of those wind turbines, the hub height, is 246 feet. That, honest to God, that is just blown my mind now. 246 feet hub height. And Metabunk's Earth curve calculator says that 240 feet should be hidden. Seriously. Holy hell. That is... that's crazy. I'm going to print screen that anyway, and hopefully try and incorporate it at some point in here. So, file new. This is... I mean, this is better than I actually thought it was going to figure out. It was actually going to work out better than this. Holy Christ. That is absolutely on the money. Right, image resize, 5% to 50%. Copy that, paste it in here somewhere. There we go. So, I honestly did not expect that result, to be fair, to be within 6 feet, literally to within 6 feet. The hub height, 246 feet, according to these images, and you saw where I took the video from, stood up, took the image 7 feet, absolutely spot on. These terminate at 22.34 miles. When you put 22.34 miles in, it says the hidden should be 240 feet. Just coincidentally, almost the exact height of the hub height. That's blown me away. Genuinely blown me away. That is absolutely crazy. Let's see if I can find my channel now. Hopefully I should be, here we go, 16 watching. Thank you very much. Hi guys, nice to see everybody in here. I'll turn that off, I can hear myself talking actually. Cheers you. Cheers Sleeping Worry, nice to see you in here. Chris, hello. Wobbly Boost, hello. Soundless Banana Cam, nice to see you in everybody. Spurs Keysmo, hello. Everybody else if I missed anybody. John Watson, hi. Yeah, so essentially this is a live working of what we actually do when we're off air. So I had actually been working on it for about half an hour, and I actually thought, you know what, I'm just going to broadcast this, because I think some people think we just turn up and we just put a show together there and then as we're actually doing it. But, you know, I mean, it's not just the observations that we do, it's then the analysis of these things. So this kind of work in here, you've just gone it through it with me now. It's probably taken me 20 minutes, half an hour to put this together, and probably another 15 minutes before that, which was to get the composite cropped in. And yeah, so this is just to make one point on today's show. Essentially, this will be one part, maybe take up 10 minutes of people's time. But essentially it's probably taken me, including doing the footage and what have you, all this time to actually put this together. Another thing that I've been working on for today's show, I'm going to show you it now. There was a gentleman, I think he's called I Can Science This, put a video out, and he was going over the Alkay Ailsa Craig footage. And there are points that he agrees with myself on, and there are points that he agrees with Simon Dan. So what I've done is I've actually revisited the evidence, because there was an Easter egg in there, which Nathan and Anthony already knew about, which was this side portion here. We tried to get the ballers to come in and debate us about this particular side, but they didn't fall for the bait. However, fortunately, we did get somebody to make a video, which Alkay has actually mirrored, which is excellent for us, because this is exactly what we wanted. We wanted them to put their seal of approval on his analysis, which is exactly the same analysis that we already knew, which was that these points here are exactly what we're seeing, 100%. Also, this right-hand part is, in fact, the actual same. It's agreed that this is what we're actually seeing. And these points here were changed over a tad. Eventually, it was a ledge that was moved down as opposed to being slightly higher. So the curve calcs say, because now that everybody's in agreement with this, Alkay's put his stamp of approval on it, and we have Simon Dan, and we also have this Icon Science, that guy, all agreeing that this is what we're actually seeing from the 30.9 observation. We know that the height of the Ailsa Craig is 1,107 feet, I believe, or 1,109 feet. So I've put this black line in to that height using this ruler on the side. There's the horizon line at the bottom. I've put that to 0. So now that we know that this is exactly what we're seeing, up to this black line here, this black line is what we're seeing. I've got other images that compare all this, but essentially it's down to here, which means that we have 200 feet of missing Ailsa Craig, apparently, right? So we have a Metabunk, 30.9 miles, viewer height 3 feet. This top red line is the actual hidden that they give, which should be 552 feet. The refracted hidden is 467 feet, which would be here. So what that means is that if you was to believe the ball model, you wouldn't see this right-hand side, this drop-off here, and you wouldn't see these markings on the right, which now that we've got Alkay, and we also have Simon Dan, and we also have Icon Sciences, all agreeing that this is the image that we're seeing, this is the part of the images that we're seeing. Now that we have consensus on that, it's a funny way that we have to go about actually dragging this out of them to actually agree to this. But now that we actually have got them to nail their thoughts on this and publish it, we can now confidently say that they need to explain why 350 feet is missing from the curve calcs. So we're not seeing down to the base, which we can obviously say is down to the very low observation height and the layer of dirty air just above the water. But if you was to believe the ball earth model, essentially what you got to say is that this entire mountain has all been loomed up in proportion, everything about it, because you cannot be seeing this on a curved earth unless everything is being loomed up. The whole thing has to be loomed up. So we're going to be talking about this today. This will be a heads up. This is the work that we've been doing on it again today. This took me about an hour and a half to put together. And it probably will be like another 10-minute segment that will be talked about on Nathan's show. So this is what we do when we're not online talking to you guys. Who else have we got? Who else? Chris. Hello, Chris. Belief is a thief. Hi, Ranty. Yes. Side Guru Dan was annoying. Never considered perspective distortion. No, and that, you see, that's another thing. I mean, I've been talking to Nathan this morning, and we're trying to work out how the angular size would affect, you know, what we're seeing of the mountain as well, and whether we can use that calculator or calculation to account for the missing 200 feet or so at the bottom here. I'll be honest, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to work that calculation into this equation or to this problem that we have. But if it's possible, and there is a way to incorporate the angular size change to account for the missing curve at the horizon, I'd like to know if anybody's got any suggestions on how to do that. But just based on just the basic maths, the basic what we see, as opposed to what we don't see. We don't see 200 feet of the bottom, but they're missing 350 feet because that's where the curve calc should be. So one's right and one's wrong. If you believe that they're right, then this mountain is entirely loomed, everything is loomed up. If you believe we are right, it's flat, and we just can't see the bottom due to the atmospheric conditions on that particular day. Simple as that. And this is working with a hangover as well. It was my friend's birthday yesterday. We went out and got pretty drunk. I'm actually glad Nathan didn't do a show this afternoon, but I believe he's doing a show this evening. So I'm glad to have been able to show you what we do when we're not talking on the debate. Is Rumpus yesterday? What happened yesterday? I didn't see all of yesterday's show, so I missed it. Was Rumpus in? Higher elevation, not angular size, more perspective view. Yeah, I mean that's possible. You know, it was a higher elevation, should not really angular size, more perspective view. Yeah, I kind of figured that, because how would I go about showing that? Right, I have an idea. Let's look for a video of St. Bees. St. Bees Beach by drone. There we go. So when we're looking at it, hopefully it'll show it taking off as well. Right, okay, so if you're low down and you're looking at something straight ahead, you only see something straight ahead. So here we go. If I pause it there and we're looking at this hill, right, we're only actually seeing this hill from a lower observation. When the drone goes higher, you'll actually see the hill and the grass behind it. So hopefully the drone will go higher. There we go. So perspectively, yeah, that would make sense, because it's from two different points. I'm trying to find the point where it would show it. Ah, there we go. Come on. There we go. So now when we're looking at it from a higher elevation, we're looking down into it. So we're getting the hill, and we're also getting the grass behind it. So it distorts what you're actually looking at. So that would actually add height to the bottom of the higher elevation image, if I'm correct. I believe that, yeah, I am actually correct on that. So from a higher elevation, as he's looking down into it, it would disproportionately add size to the bottom of that mount of the image from that elevation, whereas the lower elevation would show a skinnier. Let me show it. Try and show you on there. Yeah, good point. I'll move. Right, so if we're looking at it straight ahead, and let's put it in red. So there's the hill that we want to look at. There's Anthony's Hill. If we're looking at it straight ahead from the beach, I've actually got images of that. I think I sent them to you, Anthony, didn't I? Anyway, If we're looking at them straight ahead, that's what you'd see. You'd see the hill just there. You wouldn't see much of the green at the top. So let's get rid of that. Change the color. Let's put the, this is what you'd actually see. You'd see a bit of green at the top. That's from looking at it from the beach and looking at the hill. You see the bit of green at the top. But when you go up in elevation and you look down into it, that amount of green that you're seeing would be substantially more. It'd be like that. Because you'd be looking down onto it, just as evidenced in that video from here. So you'd be looking down into it, and then you'd also see the green here. And that looks higher, but it's not. Well, it is, but it's not technically. I mean, you can't say that that's the same height as the hill. That's just green. It's just down to perspective. So going back to that image, where are we? So when we're looking down into this image, this is looking down into it, isn't it? Yeah, so it would increase the height of it at the bottom. So as long as the matching up's correct here, all this you could put down to perspective. That's interesting. This is just the thoughts that we're going through. Thought processes. Jamie Brown, yeah, that would be why you get a different view of the Isle of Man from the beach on a hill. Indeed. Indeed. That's exactly what you'd see. So, like you say, it is just from two different. What we can do is we can definitely match up those points on the hill, right? We can definitely match up these. And we can definitely, we're all in agreement that we're seeing this right-hand side here. But because this is from the higher observation, you'd be looking down into it, yeah. So even that little bit of land there that looks like it's probably quite high, that could be quite low in actual fact. That could probably be, that might, technically, that could be 10 feet high, but we're seeing it higher because we're actually looking down into it and along, like looking at like this on the video, like this. We're looking down onto this, right? Now, if you said that that hill there is 80 foot high, and if you was just saying, okay, well, if you're looking at it like this, that must mean that's 1,000 feet high over here, but it isn't. That could only be 200 feet high, but it's because we're looking down into it and making it look higher. Yeah, trying to interpret a 2D image in 3 dimensions. That's what we're trying to do when we're comparing from 2 different observation heights. Awesome. So if you guys, if you actually missed the start of the show, I tell you what, right? I didn't expect to get this here. I highly recommend you watch back and you watch me putting this together, and I do it in live, and I figure out using the turbines that at 22.34 miles they would terminate, and the curve calcs say that hidden would be 240 feet. I mean, that's almost identical, and this was just a live putting together of this. No trickery going on. Absolutely, I couldn't believe it. I was blown away when I saw how close they were to the curve calcs. I'm definitely going to be talking about this today. Anyway, right, that's me. I'm done. I'm going to have a hair of the dog, I think, have some food. And I think Nathan's going live later tonight. So maybe, what time is it now? I think probably in an hour or an hour and a half, he'll be going live. So I'll catch you guys there, and I'll see you again soon. Peace for now.